Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Welcome home, Brains. There's only one requirement to hang out on the edge, is that you open your big brain and close your small mind. Did you bring your thinking caps? It's time to put them on, because the conversation starts now.
Brains, I'm excited. I got Uncle Douglas. I'm calling him Uncle Douglas because he was my brother's best friend in the music and entertainment industry. Brains, this is a trailblazer right here. Do you know that he has written hit songs for, I got my list, Jay-Z, Drake, The Whispers. He worked with Billy Preston. He's a music publisher. We're going to talk about the industry and the trickery and the blessings of being gifted to be able to create music that's timeless, that transcends, and why music is so important. We're going to talk about health and wellness. We're going to talk about some of the challenges that these stars, I don't care if they hip hop, reggae, whatever, that they facing with these drugs and they dying. We're going to talk about a whole lot of stuff and a couple things I bet you he don't even know I know. So Brains, help me welcome to the edge, Douglas Gibbs. Hi, Doug.
Hey, how are you? It's good to be here with you.
And it's good to be here with you too, because I'm telling you, this corona's been a mess, hasn't it?
Oh man, this has shut down everything. But it's good to be.
But it's the perfect cause to make folks sit their butts down and pay attention.
Absolutely. That's what it did.
Well, I haven't seen you in forever, and I'm so glad to see you virtually. You know, Brains, we're connected at the hip. He was with my brother singing. Look at this. I got this picture. I had to print it. Look at these handsome rascals. Look at them. Okay, this is my brother, Jesse Kirkland, right here. This is Douglas Gibbs, and that's my friend Joe Green. You guys, were you the Soul Brothers?
We were the Soul Brothers. This
is perfect to have you here. It brings up such great memories.
Absolutely.
I was talking to my dad about you the other day, and he said the last time he saw you was at my wedding. That's been 36 years.
Yeah. I couldn't believe that you're even that old. Last time I saw you, you were just a little girl.
I know. Well, now I'm a big old grown woman and a podcaster.
And yes, you are, and beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. You have been in this industry for 6 decades. 6.
Yeah.
Roll back the clock and tell me where it began and how you met my brother and Billy and how music found you.
Well, I think the way music found me is that when I was a young kid, I actually started listening to the radio when I was about 8 years old, and I started loving some of the music I was listening to. And I would say, wow. Now, we had a piano in our house, and nobody played it. So I used to lay on the bench, stick my hand up so I could play the keys, and I play a chord, and then I take my left hand and find the bass note, and that's how I learned how to play the piano.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how I did it, laying on the bench.
You're the only one that could play in the family, huh?
Well, my mother played when I was really little, but the piano just sat there.
Wow.
It just, nobody played it, so I started playing it.
Okay, so fast forward. How did you start writing and composing and joining groups?
Well, when I was young, when I was still this age, about 8 or 9, well, about 10 or 11, I used to put on concerts in Pasadena.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I used to do the whole show. I found out that you could rent a public facility, like in a park, and you could and you get it for free. And so I'd get my poster, I'd catch the bus all the way to LA, to Kobe Poster Printing, and then I would ride back home, post up posters all over the city. And that's how I met your brother, Jesse.
Wow.
Because that was the first group I presented in LA.
Wow. So
in Pasadena.
You were a promoter as well.
Absolutely. I enjoyed that too.
I love it. That's what I said. I love this podcast because I love to make people shine and, just to see your influence and your impact. Okay, so you booked this great concert. You got all this stuff going on. They following you. How'd you get into songwriting?
Well, I got into songwriting after I got out of the Soul Brothers, and I was already doing recording sessions, doing background for different artists, along with Jesse and Joe, and I went and a guy said, "You need to start writing," and so I started writing songs. They were pretty good. The first artist I actually recorded, wrote a song for was Chuck Jackson, back in the day. You don't know Chuck.
I don't know Chuck.
Yeah.
The farthest I could go back with you is Billy. Let's go back down to Billy Preston, the fifth Beatle. And, he was such an influence. I remember little things that he used to say when I was a little kid. They used to call me Muffy. That's, when I reached Douglas online, he didn't know me by April Mahoney. When I put Muffy, he knew who that was. So did you get to travel with Billy as well? I know that my brother went to London with him and did background music for Hey Jude. Did you ever get to travel with him and perform as well?
When we were the Billy Preston and the Soul Brothers, we went around the country, this country. I never went out of the country with him. I never had done that. But I was out of the group by that time when Jesse and Joe got all the good stuff. London and all the good stuff.
You got some hit records. And I was going through the archives, because I had to do my homework. You were on Soul Train with Don Cornelius. Yes, you were. Okay. Yeah. All right. Tell me about that. How did that feel? Because I used to be in the little dance area if you got picked to go in. But to be up on that stage with Don Cornelius, that's legendary.
Well, I wrote a song called "I'll Always Have You There," and it kind of started jumping up the charts. It was my first single, and I ended up performing on Soul Train. And there I am sitting up there talking to Don Cornelius, being interviewed by him, and I just thought that was unreal. It was really a dream come true.
I mean, Go ahead.
I was very, very fortunate to be able to get on his show, because of, that was my first song, I'd ever written. Yeah.
But he was such a trailblazer. Everybody thought it was that American Bandstand. And then all of a sudden, here come Don Cornelius with the soul. You didn't go anywhere. You didn't go to skating ring. You didn't do nothing till after 11 o'clock and Soul Train was on. And if you wasn't popping and locking and doing all of this, that was
absolute.
But back in the day, that's when music was authentic. Now it's filled with so much vulgarity and pain and animosity and anger and violence. That's not music. Music transcends you from time, space, the people you were with. It takes you there. You are time stamped, and I just don't understand. Do you feel that there's a lack of creativity? What do you think is going on in the music industry with the newcomers?
Well, when I meet the newcomers and young people into the industry, it's kind of hard for me to relate to them because I'm used to working with people who play instruments, and they know what a flat minor is, or they know what key you're playing in, and that's what I'm used to. And by me being a publisher, I've gotten a lot of requests to publish some rap music, and I don't know, it's been very difficult for me,
Right, because you're lending your credibility to that.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. I don't want to hear no vulgarity. My husband is Swedish cherry pie, but we was on a road trip. I paid him $50 to turn the radio station. He liked that gangster. I can't do that the whole time. But I must say, my heart is broken with the loss of DMX. Now he could make me lose my mind up in here.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
one thing about that is that there are so many musicians and great composers and songwriters that have passed on. You know,
right. But a lot
I'm
of,
blessed to be here.
but and I'm gonna ask you something. This is a tough question. But a lot of them is drug use, and then a lot of them die broke. Okay, two things. Now I understand being a creative. You are a person that composes music. You like to sing. You like to perform. Finance is not your forte. Okay,
Right,
check them out.
right.
I get that. You're busy trying to get bookings. You're busy trying to do this, and you're always on. The show must go on. I don't care if you fell off the stage and bust your lip. You put some makeup on it and you go back out there. And I just think about great people like Prince. I went to like 12 of Prince's concerts and jumping up and down every night off the stage and doing splits and carrying the guitar. I tell you, there's a lot of pain. So I understand where the drugs can come in to it. I understand that, and people don't manage you because you got to be up or you got to be down. But it's just so hard. And it's so heartbreaking when you see people like, Whitney and the list just goes on and on of great, great talent caught up in that. What is it like on the road?
Well, it's very difficult. But the thing is usually people feel that taking drugs and smoking grass and all that creates helps to create your
Smoking grass, you better come up to the 21st century. You smoking grass. They smoking cannabis.
well, I'm old school. I'm old school. but and they feel that it enhances their creativity, and so they stick. And then you look up, and I'm talking about me, because what happened with me was that I started out doing drugs and alcohol and the whole thing, and it got me while I was out there. I turned into a raging alcoholic, and I was out there, just kind of trying to make moves that I couldn't make because of my alcoholism. And I was so fortunate that I had a couple of friends that said, no, 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 you need to come and hang with us. And we started going to AA meetings and stuff like that. Now today, I have 47 years clean and sober. And when I began cleaning up my life and the alcohol and the drugs, everything changed.
Oh.
I mean, just like it was like night and day. Everything changed. I could see, I could hear. I went back and looked at some of the songs that I had written. I said, I actually wrote that.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it was.
But during that transition, you were always, we're going to talk about them being broke here in a minute, but in between there, and you got yourself clean and sober, you were one of the very first people that I had ever known that had a group home.
Absolutely.
That's right.
I didn't know you knew that.
See, I'm telling you, I know. I do my homework. And that was a trailblazer because you didn't hear that. They were at the foster care, but you actually pulled together and had these, young men. You mentored them, you took care of them, you showed them respect. That was a big part of your life, wasn't it?
Absolutely. For 30 years, I actually ran a group home, Music and Kids. People like Tupac. What was it? What was the guy's name? Suge Knight. All of them came and supported my group home.
See, that was absolutely wonderful. And then after that, you started driving a limousine. You had limousine service. Oh, yes.
Look at you.
Yes. Okay.
You really did your homework.
Okay.
You really did.
That's what I'm supposed to do because I love you. You're family to me. But check this out. Who were some of the most famous people that you ever drove in that limousine? Because you was up in Hollywood. I know you had the Coopty Snoop. Who you have in that car?
The most famous person I drove was Elizabeth Taylor, and and her whole crew, including her hairdresser. I can't think of his name. And then I drove all the big stars, all of them. I drove them all, and that was a lot of fun too.
So I say that to say this: you got to have multiple revenue streams, Brains.
Absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
Just because you're sitting there making music, you still got to pay the bills. You got to do what you got to do, and that's what Douglas did. And he
that's what I did.
And that as well. But what breaks my heart is when I see that these, again, entertainers, they die broke. They have to go and take up collection to bury them, and they've given.
That's right.
You know, especially Black artists. Learn the contract, youngsters.
Yeah, one thing I did realize through my whole life, because I ran away from home when I was like 17, and that's how I met Jesse and all of them. I always had a job, always. You know, back in those days when I was singing Billy, I had a job because I knew I had to take care of myself. You know, and you don't get to ride for free.
No.
Period.
No. What did Bill? No, Little Richard. He used to say, "If you ride the pony, you're surely gonna get rode." All right. So let's talk about the industry when it comes to intellectual properties and royalties and all of that. Now, you know, my brother is still collecting royalties from songs that he wrote back in 1960, maybe 1959. But these young people don't know how to do that. And they are, a lot of them are being ripped off. Now, a couple things I don't understand. Let me ask you this question first. When you sample somebody's song, okay, you got the, Earth, Wind, and Fire, and you want to sample Reasons. How does that work? You have to pay them, because a lot of folks try to do that on, on Facebook, or I'll do a video and I want a little music in the background. We're not trying to cheat nobody out their money. But what is the problem with that? How does that work?
Well, being a publisher, a songwriter, you have to, you own a copyright. It's like a patent as well. It's, you have to copyright your music, and that protects people from just taking your music and doing whatever they want to with it. They have to get permission from you to do it. And it's very easy. You just send in a request, and most likely they'll grant it. And then you can use it that way. And then the artist that wrote the song also gets income from your stream.
Okay.
You see,
okay.
Even if you play, if they play your song on the radio, you get paid.
Right, but does the songwriter or the person that records it gets the money? Because I'll use this as an example. I'll Always Love You was a Dolly Parton song, but Whitney put a foot in it. Okay, so who get, she got all the accolades and all that, and Dolly Parton got the money for writing it, but how does that work?
Well, because Dolly wrote it, she gets paid. Whitney gets paid because she's the artist. It's called a mechanical license. So she's getting her share of that music, but she got permission to do it.
Okay.
That's how that works, Okay. Like I said, you have to call and get permission, and then you do it and you split it. You make an agreement. Okay. There's an agreement made between you and the writer.
Yeah, because I know that the Gay family, sued some entertainers for sampling the beats. And I thought that was just, I followed that case for a long time, because how do you tell the synchronicity and the beats so specifically that you can copy that you could win something in court? So again, recording your intellectual property and your tracks is very, very important. I'm a poet, and I copyright all of my stuff, because somebody could take my stuff and use the lyrics. And then there we are.
It's the same way. And I just want to say, while I have this little platform, is that young people that are putting out music, protect your music. Protect it, get it copywritten. Don't just put it out there and think it's okay. Because someone will take your music. They will take them.
Streaming streaming services, that's another way that the music industry has changed considerably. I mean, you used to have to pay for for a 45 or an album or whatever. Now with this downloading and this streaming, I don't know how they're making any money. Another thing in the industry, they're not giving you all that upfront money. Everybody wants to be a celebrity, but they used to suit you and boot you and pay for the hotel and pay for food, the website, none of that. You better come already as a package to get a deal.
Yeah, that's how you get a deal. But they also have to remember that when all that suiting and booting, and they're going to get it back at the end. You'll look and say, what happened to my royalty check? And they say, well, you remember the hotel you stayed in? Remember all the champagne you were drinking? Remember the suits I got? They're going to get their money back off the top. So you have to be careful with that as well. And like you said, streaming, that's a new world to me. I'm still trying to figure it out because I'm old school. I'm used to getting all my money from the record company, and I knew where it was directed and I knew where it was coming from. Now streaming is, I don't know how they got that formula that they have, but artists are not getting half as much money as they used to get.
No. And so now it's all about touring. And with COVID, that just pulled everybody's pants down.
Yeah.
And, I saw a couple really creative ideas at the drive-in movie theater where they would pull up a big U-Haul and they'd have a stage on the back. We went to a country western thing, but how many outdoor venues are like that people are going to really enjoy it? So they were making a lot of money off, concerts. I know I was paying $200-300 just to sit in the middle.
Yeah. That's how it is nowadays.
And crew
merchandising. You have to sell T-shirts and hats and everything that you can.
All you do is you got to stand out in front of the concert hall. You know how they do it. I don't know how those guys do it, but they make a killing. They have them $10 shirts out there. And I know that the artists be hot. They be hot.
Yeah.
That again is their intellectual property. Where you going?
Yep.
It's good. All right. So now let's talk about the here and now. What does it take to write a good song? What do you think?
I don't know, because all the songs I write, I think are good.
Right.
And I met a lot of artists that have written, and I mean big artists and big writers who wrote great songs that I thought they couldn't even get them off the ground. A good song is being able to get it out there to people who can relate to what you're doing, and they love what you do. And I think a good song is good lyrics and excellent music behind it, and emotion, and a song with a lot of feelings. People can relate to that stuff. What I call hope music. It gives people hope. Direction music gives them direction on how to go on with their lives. That's a good song to me.
Now, Brains, we have a special treat for you off of Douglas Gibbs' brand new EP coming out. He says the name of it is I Won't Give Up. We are about to listen to a track called Hear Our Prayer. Get ready, Brains, here on The Edge.
Heavenly Father, hear our prayer, O Lord. Hear our prayer. Hear our prayer. Lord, please hear us.
May we pray. Oh God, this day we dedicate to thanks and gratitude. Help us to celebrate our God this day in the spirit of thanksgiving. May we find you in all of life, in the trees, in the rain, in the earth, in everything that breathes your breath of life. And especially may we find you in ourselves and in others. For all the kindnesses thou hast bestowed upon us, we gratefully thank thee. Forgive us, we beseech thee, our many sins. We have lived in this world and forgotten that it is thine. We have received thy gifts and ignored the giver. Help us to discipline our minds and to be still and know that thou art God and that we are the temple of the Most High. We come in the spirit of thanksgiving, not most for the gifts which thou hast given us, although they are innumerable, nor for the deeds that thou hast done for us, although our hearts cannot calculate their richness. We thank thee for thyself. Thank God for God. We adore thee. We rejoice in thee. We worship thee. Thou art the glory of our life. Without thee, the world would be aimless and our life purposeless. Lift us up, we beseech thee, from cowardice to courage. Lift us up above malice and evil speaking. Arouse in us the Spirit of Christ, who could pray upon the cross for those who put him there. Help us to be Christians in our hearts, because love is there. We praise and magnify thy name, O Lord. Surely goodness and mercy have followed us all the days of our lives. We thank thee in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Wow. Oh, Douglas, that was amazing. That is a hit. That's another hit. I'm so excited that I got the exclusive. Okay, here on the edge, right? Brains, I need you to run, not walk. The EP, when is it going to be released, Douglas?
It's going to be released in about a week.
Wow. Is it going to be like on a CD, baby, or how are you releasing it?
You'll be able to get it on all the platforms, CD, Spotify, all of them.
Wow. Well, I'm going to get mine. Thanks for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for letting me tell you about it.
And you know what's really popular, and me and Mama love it, is some country western. Okay.
Yeah, country western, it's great stuff.
Western is the business. Okay. I listen to it. It tells a story. It has a rhythm. It has a cadence. It has a, it has pain. It has laughter. I'm into country music now. I really can't deal with a lot of this other mainstream stuff. And the bad part is I got to pay for satellite radio to get, some options and choices. And now they were radio free. I mean, commercial free. They're not commercial free because they got to pay the bills.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And back in the day, you didn't have to do that. You could look at Channel 7 on television for free.
Yeah, you could. But back in the day too, there was a lot of pay for play. You had your promoter or whatever, and he'd break off the guy at the radio station to spin your record.
Absolutely. That's what was going on back in the day. You had to pay to get on that radio, and that's what it is, what it was. Nowadays, you just hope you can get some airplay. If someone is listening to your song on the internet, and
so
I did pretty good.
You did well. You're still doing good, and the reason why I say you're still doing good is because you've been on dialysis now for 8 years. You have
Absolutely.
You have severe renal failure, and that's no joke. Can you talk to people a little bit about kidney disease? And some words of encouragement of somebody that's that's out there and thinks that there's no hope.
Well, a lot of people look forward to when they have renal failure. They look forward to trying to find a kidney, and which I hope they can get. But I'm not looking for another kidney. I'm just going to hang in here, go to my dialysis. It's no big deal. It takes up your time, and that's about it. Because you have to go 3 days a week, and you're there for 3 or 4 hours, and but it's no big deal.
Well, because you've accustomed to it. But I've got a family member that said that they wouldn't do it. They don't have the courage to do it. Let me ask you this. I don't know if you have an opinion on this, but there was some legislation about these off-site dialysis clinics. Did you have that in Los Angeles?
No, I've never heard of off-site. I wouldn't go to an off-site clinic because they have to be clean and well run, and because they're dealing with your health, right. And if it's not done right, you could die.
Yeah, so they have them here, and they're very contained, but I don't think there's an actual physical doctor, because they were saying something about insurance had changed to where they have to pay a substantial copay if they go into the hospital to get this. So I've been talking to people that I know that have had to have dialysis and asking them what their position might be, because I'm not there. I don't know, but I know that there's a line, and I know that there is a need. And I'm hoping that, that us as a community, Black people, take, number one, our health into consideration, explore all of our options, donate to science and research, donate a kidney. You can live with one.
Yeah.
And there's so many of us that don't do it. I mean, you can't even get us to get the vaccine.
Well, I've had friends who had renal failure, and they wouldn't go and do dialysis, and some of them have passed on because you need to clean your blood. It's a need in order to stay alive. That's what dialysis is all about,
Well, I'm glad that not only is your blood clean, but your head is clean and your heart is clean. And I'm so glad to have you here on The Edge. Tell my listeners and my brains about Chitty Chitty. Is Chitty Chitty music?
Yeah, that's it.
Now, where do you get that name from?
You know what? I started Chitty Chitty music a long time ago, way back in the day. You remember Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
Right.
Ralph and I was sitting in there, and I says, he says, what we gonna call our publishing company? And I said, how about Chitty Chitty music? it just popped in my head, and it's been Chitty Chitty music ever since.
Wow. Well, they're doing some amazing things. Again, like I said, you have worked with some of the greatest artists. I'm sure that vault has got so many works of art there. Don't leave them unpublished. Work with me. Maybe me and you, that's what we should do. Me and you should come up with a country western song. We'll talk offline.
Let's do that.
I got one for you. I got one for you. Thank you, Douglas, for being here and being in my life with me and my family and my brains here on the edge where the conversation is pointed. The guests are sharp and the responses are never dull. Blow me a kiss. Mwah. I got it. Oh.
This is so cool.
All right. I love you.
I love you more.
Bye.
Bye, my darling.